I'm Dr. Nixon with Healing Peak Regenerative Medicine, and today I'm going to kind of go off topic a little bit here, more or less, and talk about relationships and communication. And just to tie it into this channel and what I typically talk about, it's extremely important for your overall health to have healthy relationships and good communication with the people that you care about in your tribe or your community, whether it be biological or chosen. And I wanted to make a video about this today because the amount of anxiety and fear and depression and angst and unknowing and information gathering questions that I am up against on a daily basis in practice is pretty much every single person I see. And we are all, as human beings, dealing with the extra pressures that this pandemic and life in general has put on us in different ways, and maybe some with more healthy coping mechanisms than others. And what I'm really seeing is a massive communication breakdown, both on a personal level as well as a global level. And I think that there is a lot of fear, not only of this virus or other viruses or sickness in general, but fear of being judged and fear of speaking your mind about how you feel, because if you whether you have one narrative or the other, I think on both sides it exists this fear to ask questions, to be curious, to be yourself. And so I want you all to just kind of think about these different relationships in your life, and maybe you've lost contact with people because you haven't seen them as much, because you can't, because you're quarantined, because they're quarantined, because you have different belief systems, like whatever it is. If there are people in your life that you have lost connectivity with, or not been able to see them or whatever, this week I want you to reach out to someone, or someone that maybe has different beliefs than you, just to hold those situations lightly. Because I think when we put up resistance or blocks to other people, you are met with more resistance and more blocks. So imagine if you have a differing opinion or something from someone else, and you guys both know that, and one of you comes to the conversation defensive, then it's an automatic response for the other person to be more defensive. And I'm talking about this on a one-to-one basis, but also as a global, and also on a global basis. When there's a lot of resistance from one thing, it's met with more resistance, which breaks down communication fundamentally, which means no progress is made within either these collective relationships or one-to-one relationships. Somebody has to start being more vulnerable and more open. And even if you know that you feel one way and you're not going to change your mind, there's still a way to hold space for a person with a differing opinion, and being respectful in those in the way that you communicate. And so, especially in social media and online, I'm seeing a lot of this stuff, as well as from patients directly and their stories. And it's hard out there, and it's painful, and people are afraid, and they're afraid of a lot of different things. And ultimately, it doesn't even come down to, most of the time, the actual virus itself, even though that is out there too. So I just wanted to talk about encouraging you, if you have not been as open as you would like to be, or if you if there's someone that out there that you've just lost touch with, that you'd really like to be closer to, or that you once were closer to, please start to connect with the people around you that you care about, who are your people, who are your tribe, even if you've lost touch with them. The relationship component of longevity is massive. People that have a community to talk about things, to discuss many major life changes openly or opinions openly, even when there is a disagreement about how things should be handled. Even before this pandemic, when people have a community to exist in unconditionally, outside of obvious things like stealing and hurting other people and that sort of thing, right? But outside of those major issues where you would be harming yourself or others, when people have a community in which they can exist completely and feel open and feel safe, really amazing, healthy transformations can happen. And I think a lot of people are out there feeling very isolated and very alone. And even though they may still be within their tribe, they may not feel okay expressing themselves or asking questions for the fear of judgment. And when that exists, no progress can happen on either side. And so that's basically my message today, guys, is, value your relationships, in even those in which you may have differing opinions of the person that you love, and really try to be open to all perspectives and all point of views. I'm not saying you have to agree with those, but just be open to them. And you just really never know under the surface what someone is going through in the situation they're in. And, do your best to hold some compassion and empathy for people around you, and you will get that in return. The more that you allow yourself to have that for other people and hold that space for other people, you will receive it. You will receive it back, maybe not directly by that person, but by other people, just by putting yourself out there, even though it's super scary. So, in lieu of longevity, please love on your loved ones, support your relationships, reach out to those people that you lost touch with. Cultivate community right now. I've never seen it more important to cultivate community than right now, at least in my, I'll say, short life. I'm not young, but I'm not old either. But I'm so grateful for my community and the people in it that all have different opinions than me, because I learn from those people every day. And so I just want you all, that's just your take-home message or your homework for this week. Please reach out to those people. And if you don't know what to do, just support the community. Find ways to support the community that you're in if there's not one specific person that you can think of. Okay? That's all for today. Take care.